You're listening to Apparently with Mr. Ganda, the podcast that explores life's uncut moments and helps you through them. I'm your host, Mr. Ganda. Let's see what we have in store for you today. What do we have in store for you today, people? Today we're talking about the book The Alchemist, hence the title, The Way of the Alchemist. And it's also episode 8. I'm excited about it. I'm still under 10, but hey, every single step I take is a step closer to my goal. Now you'll find out more about that, but let's just start with why am I talking about The Alchemist today? Well, it's my favorite book. And if you know me or you know anything about my literary adventures, you should already know this. If you don't, now you do. But you might be asking, well, Ish, why is this your favorite book? Well, let's just say besides the Bible, this is the only other compilation of written words that has ever spoken to my soul in the same way. And I'm not trying to compare this book to the Bible. No, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to say there are messages in this book that would help a lot of people if they just listen to it or they read it. I know. You might be saying, well, Ish, isn't that an exaggeration? No, it's not. It's not. Well, when I say this book is my favorite book, I'm not talking about the kind of favorite where you say, oh, I've read it once and I really liked it. No, that's not the kind of favorite I'm talking about. I'm talking about the type of love where you've read it at least twice a month and listen to it on audio another 3 or so more times every couple of months. That is the kind of love I'm talking about. Let me just tell you, every time I read or listen to The Alchemist, I learn something new about it, about life, and about myself. Now, there's very few things in the world that can make me do that. It's like the words that I've always wanted to say, I've finally found a language through which they could be expressed. So when you see me post something that resonates with you, it's because I've found the language that resonates with me, so I can actually use the words that I have within me and express them so they can resonate with you. If I am becoming your destiny helper, it's because of this book. So I want you to just give it a chance. Try to listen to it. Or if not, just listen to what I have to say about this book. And then you make a decision at that point. If you like it, send me a DM. Send me a tweet. Shoot me an email. If you don't like it, send me a DM. Send me a tweet. Shoot me an email. If you want me to share this book with you on Audible, shoot me a DM with your email. And make sure you do not already have Audible, because I don't know I can do that. And this is not sponsored by Audible, by the way, or by Paulo Coelho. I just love this book. So I hope you enjoy it and share your comments with me. Let's kick it. So why am I sitting down with The Alchemist today? Well, he's been a dear friend over the years and a great teacher for me. Also, I wanted to share with my audience that not giving up on your dreams can yield remarkable results. Unless if your goal is to become a serial killer or a dictator, then you definitely should give up on that. No, seriously, you should really give up on that. It's a bad idea. Let's talk about Paulo Coelho for a second. He's a Brazilian author known worldwide. The guy's book, The Alchemist, has been translated into 52 languages. Can you imagine that? If you're an author out there and you have a book that you've been thinking is good, just imagine having that book translated into 52 different languages. Imagine the access it gives you to the rest of the world. That's who the guy is. Paulo, from a very young age, knew he wanted to be a writer. The only problem was his parents were not on board with that goal. His father was an engineer, mom a housewife, and if you're African and you're out there, you know exactly what I'm getting. Yes, Paulo was not African, but his parents have the same mentality as most African parents. Why would you want to be a writer when you can be a doctor, or you can be an engineer, or you can be a lawyer? What's wrong with you? But unlike most kids out there, Paulo rebelled against this. He pushed back because he knew this was his goal. This was his dream in life, is to be a writer. So what did they do? Paulo was sent to an institution. He was there for 3 years. He tried to escape several times, but finally when he was released, he ended up becoming a hippie, because that's what you do when you leave an institution and you go out. You become a hippie, at least back in those times. Over the time of his hippiness, he eventually discovered or rediscovered his dream of being a writer and pursued it. And now here I am talking about the guy's book, one of his most popular books, The Alchemist. So let me ask you this. Tell me about the obstacles that are really keeping you from your dream. Tell me about how your parents are not supporting your dream. Please tell me about how it's so hard for you to find an hour out of your time every day to work on your dream hustle. Please, please, please tell me how life is so hard that you cannot take the time to work on your dream that you know will make you happy. Yeah, I didn't think so either. If you've read any of the notes on the podcast in my blog, you'll know that I've coined this term, the culture time machine. #KTM. So let's jump into the culture time machine real quick and jump back 6 years from today. Throwback. 6 years ago, I still lived in Augusta, Georgia, and I was dabbling in writing, poetry, short stories, all these little things. And every time friends would come over, they would read them and they'd say, "Yo, Ish, you're really good. You should really have this published." And I'll go, "Nah, not really." And say, "No, for real, you're really good." So I had a friend of mine who loves books. So I thought to myself, I will send her one of my short stories and ask her to review it. Because she's read so many books in so many genres, I feel like she has a better opinion of what is good or what is not. So I sent her one of my short stories. A week went by and I got really anxious. So I sent her a message, say, "Hey, what did you think about the story?" And the text she sent me back, I still remember that text. Why? Because it really impacted my life. She said, "Whenever you have a chance, find The Alchemist." That was it. And I thought to myself, who the hell is The Alchemist? Don't get me wrong, I knew exactly what an alchemist was, but I had no idea who this alchemist was that she was telling me to find. Of course, being the proud African man that I am, I never admitted that I had no idea what she was talking about. I just said, LOL, okay. Now, that was all I got from her. She never told me whether the book was good, whether it was bad, or whatever. That's all I got from her. So I was like, okay, cool. I'll find this alchemist. So it was almost a year later when I was on Twitter. That was back in the day when Twitter, for me, was my main means of connecting with the social world and all that stuff. I saw a tweet about Paulo Coelho, the author of a book called The Alchemist. And I thought to myself, oh, what the hell? I'll check it out. So that was when my journey to look for The Alchemist started. No, really, it started when I first Googled Coelho. I wanted to know, how do you pronounce this name? Because if I was going to go downtown to these bookstores to search for this book, I needed to know how to pronounce this name. I wasn't about to sound like I had no idea what I was talking about. Because you know how certain people that have bookstores treat people that can't pronounce names. Yeah, you do. Don't pretend that you don't. But I found the book about a week later, and it's been a part of my life for the last 6 years. For the culture. If you know how this podcast goes, then you know the segment For the Culture is where I usually take what we're discussing and apply it to things that are going on in our community. And when I'm talking about our community, I'm talking about the Black community. I'm not talking about any other community because I have no idea what's going on in other communities. I only know what's going on in ours. Just because Paulo is not a Black man does not mean the messages in his book don't apply to our lives. Being pro-Black does not mean you're against all things Black, people. just in case you're wondering. No, it means that you're able to take the things that non-blacks are saying, examine them, determine the things that would benefit your community, and taking those things out of it and applying it to your community. So the messages from The Alchemist, what I've done is I've taken them and examined how they can benefit my people. So please do not think being pro-black means you're against anything that is not black, because if that's the mentality you have, you're limiting the growth and potential of your brothers and sisters. So let's go to the book. I want to start off with this quote from the book. Everyone on earth has a treasure that awaits him. Let me repeat that again. Everyone on earth has a treasure that awaits him. Okay, let's break this down. We all have a purpose in our lives. If someone has ever told you that your life has no meaning, that is a big lie. You exist because there's something on this earth you were created to accomplish. What that something is, I do not know, my friend. But that is your personal legend. That is your treasure. The man that is born in the hood has the same value on this earth as the man born in a fancy neighborhood. The difference might be the path and the length of their individual journeys. So if you're out there thinking that just because you were born in the hood to a single parent and somebody has both parents and was born in a wealthy neighborhood, that makes them better than you, no, it does not, brother. It gives them a step up, but that's all it is. What determines how you guys end up being is the paths that you take. Now, some of you might be thinking that I have no idea what I'm talking about, or that I was not born in the hood, or being African limits my black experience. And I'm saying black, quote unquote, especially in America. It is true that our experiences might be different. It is also true that we have all at some point in our lives accepted the world's greatest lie. And you might be thinking, what is the world's greatest lie? Well, according to The Alchemist, at a certain point in our lives, we lose control of what's happening to us, and our lives become controlled by fate. That's the world's greatest lie. Let me say that again. At a certain point in our lives, we lose control of what's happening to us, and our lives become controlled by fate. That's the world's greatest lie. You don't believe me? Check this out. How many times have you or someone you know said that no matter what you do, society will never recognize you, so you're better not even trying? You say this because you believe that this is the black fate. No, sir. No, ma'am. We're in control of everything that happens in our lives. We make decisions. Sometimes we make really stupid ones. Personally, I'm going through that right now. And these stupid decisions affect our lives. Yes, the doors might be shut in our faces, bro. But there are so many different ways into a building than just a door. You don't believe me? Ask a firefighter. When there's a fire in a building, do they just always walk for the door? No, they don't. There are windows, there are access panels, there are all these different ways to get into that building. So don't think because a door is closed, that's the only way you can get into a room. Oh, but Ish, how can you sit there and tell everybody that I can do anything if I put my mind to it? If this is your question, let me drop these gems for you real quick. And these are quotes, by the way. People are capable at any time in their lives of doing what they dream of. I'm not done. When a person really desires something, all the universe conspires to help that person to realize his dream. I'm going to repeat those two. Here's the first one again. People are capable at any time in their lives of doing what they dream of. When a person really desires something, all the universe conspires to help that person to realize his dream. So, if you know that you're capable of doing anything you dream of, and that the universe herself is on your side, what are you waiting for? Oh, I get it. You're afraid that you might fail. Maybe this dream you've had all these years will fail and your family and friends will laugh. Or worse, they'll be disappointed by your failure. Or maybe you think you will just be proving people right. Oh, I knew you was gonna fail. I knew she couldn't handle it. I knew she wasn't an entrepreneur. Whatever. Wait, maybe that's not what you're afraid of. Are you like the crystal merchant? Are you worried that you actually might succeed and that things might blow up and now you have to deal with a large corporation of 1,000 people? Is that what you're afraid of? Because your little dream of just being a local clothing designer might turn out to be you'll be the next big thing. You'll be the one designing clothes for artists on the red carpet. Is that what you're afraid of? You don't want to be that big? I'm waiting. Because you might be thinking, well, why would I be afraid of being big? Some people are, because when you fail at that level, your failure is 10 times more crushing than when you fail at a local community level, because you're already known by everyone. So your failure is going to be out there for everyone to see. But when you're just doing things for people in your community, when you fail, it's not as great. So yes, people are afraid of successes like that. If you're staying away from becoming the next big thing because you're afraid, then you're listening to the poster child of failure. Now, I'm not saying that I've failed more than everybody. What I'm saying is I have failed at almost everything I've done so far. But I did not let that keep me down. Even now, there are tons of things I am failing at, but I keep pushing anyway because I have no other choice. That brings me to this other quote. And when you can't go back, you have to worry only about the best way of moving forward. Of course, I'm going to repeat it. And when you can't go back, you have to worry only about the best way of moving forward. Sure, you might be thinking, well, of course, you're in your home recording this big talk. No, I'm not. I have failed in so many things that I have helped other people succeed in. You know, when you think, well, I helped him become this person. If I can help him be that person, that means I can do it. And I've tried to do it and failed miserably. And I'm thinking, how could I help him become who he is now? And now I can't do the same. I've had those moments several times in my life. But fortunately for you and I, The Alchemist addresses this idea of fear in a way that I think will benefit you, because I know it did for me. Here's the first thing. There's only one thing that makes a dream impossible to achieve: the fear of failure. There is only one thing that makes a dream impossible to achieve: the fear of failure. You don't buy that? Okay, cool. Let's go on. Tell your heart that the fear of suffering is worse than suffering itself, and that no heart has ever suffered when it goes in search of its dreams. Let me read this really slow. Tell your heart that the fear of suffering is worse than the suffering itself, and that no heart has ever suffered when it goes in search of its dreams. Maybe you don't buy that either, so let's go on. People are afraid to pursue their most important dreams because they feel that they don't deserve them or that they'll be unable to achieve them. This one is real. People are afraid to pursue their most important dreams because they feel they don't deserve them or that they'll be unable to achieve them. So here is it. Most people think they're not worthy of being successful. But why would people think that, you might be thinking? It's just the human condition. Some people believe that success is for others, that they don't deserve it. So they don't try to pursue the things that will make them successful. And then there's another group of people who believe that they will never achieve success. So they don't try. You might be thinking that these are the same group. No, they're not. The one group know they can achieve success, but they just believe that they don't deserve it, so they don't try. The other group, they don't even believe that they can achieve success. They just know they can't do it, so they don't try. And then there's the group that believes that they can do it and that believe that they deserve it, so they do it, get it, and they celebrate it. So which one of those three groups are you in? Do you believe that you don't deserve success? Do you believe that you cannot be successful? Or do you believe that you can and deserve to be successful? Think about that and share that. Share that with me on my iTunes reviews that you give me. Yeah, I haven't been getting those lately, but I know you guys are just busy. You see, fear is a natural emotion. I am fearful of many things, but do not let your fear of failure earlier, immobilize your dreams. Sure, you might fail 1 or 2 times, but please tell me what child you've seen that learned to walk without ever falling down. However, I try to face my fears whenever I can. Me talking to you right now is one of those examples. I have always wanted to be a podcaster. I've always wanted to do talks. TED Talk is one of my goals. But then I've always feared that I will have nothing important to say to you guys. So when I started this podcast a few months back, I thought to myself, what am I going to talk about? Why should people listen to me? I am no expert in anything. So why should people listen to me? Then I thought to myself, there's a reason why I'm here. There's a reason why people call me and ask me for advice. There's a reason why people ask me, what do I think about certain things? If someone can ask me that, I'm pretty sure there's somebody else out there that's thinking the same thing, but does not have that access to me. So if I can share that with this one person, why can't I do it for the next or the other? So I jumped right in, and I'm only 8 episodes in. I don't know where this podcast will end, or if it will ever pick up steam, or if people will ever benefit from it. But this is part of my personal legend. This is part of my journey. And if I don't do it, I will never feel fulfilled. I one day dream of sharing my voice with billions of people around the world. That is my dream. So that is my personal legend. And me taking this episode is just a step closer to that dream. This is like the boy getting on the boat to cross the sea over to Africa. If you've not listened to anything, if you're not taking any of the things I've said so far, I want you to consider these quotes. Everyone seems to have a clear idea of how other people should lead their lives, but none about his or her own. Let me repeat that. Everyone seems to have a clear idea of how other people should lead their lives, but none about his or her own. Yes, I include myself in this category because we black people are notorious for crying down our brothers and sisters who will discredit a black-owned business in a heartbeat, but turn around and support a non-black business that is doing the same thing as the black business we just discredited. Whenever you jump on Instagram and a black business posts something on their page, oh, support us, we're black owned, we do this, and that, just click on the comments. A bunch of people will go, hashtag black owned, hashtag support black businesses, and all that stuff. And then there'll be a few out there, oh, well, I don't buy from black businesses because the quality is this, or I don't pay this because of that, or if you can do this, then I'll buy from you. Why do we do this? I have never seen a Jewish-owned business getting something like that from the Jewish community. What they do is to share that information to the next person. Oh, you need a lawyer? My cousin is a lawyer. Oh, you need a lawyer? Our neighbor is a lawyer. They'll keep pushing and directing and tunneling all the success to that business. But what we do is we cry down that business. We expect them to cater to us. We expect them to give us discounts and everything. We will never walk into Louis Vuitton and ask them for a discount. But we'll walk into a young and upcoming bag designer. I will tell them, well, you're nobody, so I'm not about to pay $100 for that. Even though the quality will be the same thing as that $1,200 bag you buy from LV, you will not pay $100 for it. You can say whatever you like, but this is true. I remember telling a relative that I wanted to pursue genetic engineering when I had just moved to the United States. And relative douche, as we're going to call him, his response was something like this. Are you sure you're smart enough to do it? I think you should look for something else. Yeah, that's what he said. Now, I'm not hating on relative douche. That's his prerogative. That's what he believed. But this is a person that has only known me for less than a week. And he had no idea of my academic history. He had nothing solid to base his opinion on. Oh, here's another instance where my mother was told by this same relative douche to decline a music scholarship offer for my brother. His reason was they're only offering this scholarship to him because he was black and they don't want him to be like their kids, so they want him to go into music. And my mother, being the family person that she is, she listened to douche and ended up declining the scholarship. But guess what? 30 or so years later, my brother is one of the most respected Afrobeat DJs in the DMV area. He travels all over the place playing music. That was his dream. That was his personal legend. He pursued it despite all the obstacles that he faced, despite relative douche's attempt to block it. He still got to that point. I know, I digress. My point is, people in your community will try to convince you that you're not worthy or that you will fail. So, now that you know my point, let's jump on to the next quote. If someone isn't what others want them to be, the others become angry. If someone isn't what others want them to be, the others become angry. Let them be angry. Wakanda all over their stank faces and even stankier attitudes with your success. You see what I just did there? Let me tell you again. Wakanda all over their stank faces and even stankier attitudes with your success. I'm going to trademark that. You guys should really use that as a quote. People will be angry for anything that you do or things that you don't do. If you're successful and they're not, they will hate on you because they believe your success should have been theirs. If you're a failure and they're a success, they will hate on you because they feel like your failure reflects negatively on their success. So whatever you do or you don't do, people will hate on you. People will be angry with you. So why don't you just do the things that you've always wanted to do and don't care whether these people hate on you? I feel like I'm preaching. Am I? Yeah, it kind of feels that way. The only thing that's missing is me staring at the audience while I do all these hand gestures. I'm still working on the whole video thing, so if you ever want to see those videos one day, make sure you jump on Patreon and support me. Become a patron. Now, I'm done with that preaching for the culture. Let's take it to the next segment. Time for the talk. For this segment, I'm just going to say that after 6 years of countless readings and listening to this book, The Alchemist, I have still not reached my personal treasure or completed my personal legend. Like the boy Santiago, I have had my share of mistakes and trials along the way. I've had to pay certain gypsies during my journey, but I have also met my Melchizedek several times now. Who is Melchizedek? You should Google it. That's why we have Google. My prophet at the church that I attend will call him my destiny helper. He says that anybody that God has positioned in your life to help you get to your next level is your destiny helper. They were created for that very purpose of helping you get to the next level. There are people out there who don't believe that they have any value that they can add to the world. Well, here it is. You might be someone else's destiny helper. We all have destiny helpers. Mine, I know, is a man. Why? I have met him in several older men who have given me keys into rooms I never thought I would ever enter. At other times, I've heard his voice in the words of awesome people like Lovey Ajayi, like Yvonne Orji. You guys should listen to Jesus and Jollof. I know I'm a podcaster. I probably should be pushing my podcast on you, but I have gained so much wisdom and knowledge from Jesus and Jollof and people like Jay Shetty. I don't know that many people out there that don't know who Jay Shetty is. If you don't, check him out. This guy used to be a monk, and now he's sharing gems and gems with us. People like the great Madiba, Nelson Mandela. Now, if you don't know who Nelson Mandela is, then I'm really, really judging you. If you want to tell other people what it means to be black and you don't know who Madiba is, then you're not black. I'm sorry. You might look black in the mirror, but you're not. I probably should not have said that, right? Probably not. People like my brother Will. He's a teacher in Los Angeles for special ed. And a few weeks ago, he sent out this message that he's trying to get some of his students to go to an amusement park for Christmas because most of them are from Southside LA. Now, I don't know anything about LA, but I'm guessing that's not the wealthiest side of LA. And most of them are coming from single parent homes, Some of them are orphans or coming from homes where they take care of kids. I don't know, the word just escaped my mind. But here's a man, a young African man, a young black man trying to provide fun and laughter for his students for the holidays. So he sent this message out and I read it and I sent him a message back. I told him, I said, brother, I don't care what people say, but I'm going to put this all over my social media. And if you've been following me, I'm pretty sure you've seen it several times on my IG story. And hopefully by the time this episode comes out, he would have already reached the goal of 600 and doubled that. So he'll be able to take all his kids. I believe he has a class of 33 students in total. He only is trying to take 13 out of them. And I asked him, why not take all 33? He said, well, financially he can't. So that's why we were trying to get him to take all 33. So if you can help him out, I'm going to provide the link so you can go on and support him. All right. And also, let me go back to my list. People like Dave Anderson, the business bully. How did I hear about Dave Anderson? Well, one of my other podcasts that I listen to, The Extraordinary Negroes, had him on the show one day and he was talking and whatever he was saying was just vibing with me, you know? It was just like, bam! Every time he says something, it's like I just get a slap in the face. I'm like, boom, that's a wake-up call. And there are plenty of other people out there that have changed my year, 2018. Now, 2018 for me has been a horrible year for me and my family. There's a lot of personal things that we're going through this year that me being on a podcast, it shouldn't even happen. But I'm here, and I thank the Almighty for it. But there are people out there who are positioned to help you. You might be somebody else's destiny helper. So don't ever think that you're forgotten or you're forsaken by the powers that be. Maybe you are going through the struggles you're going through now. So in the future, you can be somebody else's destiny helper. Or maybe you're going through these problems now so you can meet your destiny helper. I know I digress, but unlike Santiago, I have not been as receptive in the past, but I hope you will not be like me. So today, I will leave you with these words. The first one is, never stop dreaming. This might not be unique to the book The Alchemist. I'm pretty sure some of you have heard it several times in your lives, but never stop dreaming. The second one, remember that wherever your heart is, there you will find your treasure. Wherever your heart is, there you will find your treasure. The third one, when someone makes a decision, he is really diving into a strong current that will carry him to places he has never dreamed of when he first made the decision. When someone makes a decision, he is really diving into a strong current that will carry him to places he has never dreamed of when he first made the decision. The fourth one, no heart has ever suffered when it goes in search of its dreams, because every second of the search is a second's encounter with God and eternity. Okay, let's do that again. No heart has ever suffered when it goes in search of its dreams, because every second of the search is a second's encounter with God and eternity. The fifth and final one. When we strive to become better than we are, everything around us becomes better too. When we strive to become better than we are, everything around us becomes better too. Now, I'm not going to break down any of these 5 quotes. I want you to use these quotes. Break them down yourself. Analyze them. See how they apply to your situation. If they can benefit you, please share that with me. Send me a DM on Instagram. Send me a message on the website. Leave me a review on iTunes. I will beg you to leave me a 5-star review on iTunes. But don't do it because you pity me. Do it because that's how you actually feel. Because at the end of the day, whatever you do, I want you to do it because that's what your heart tells you to do. I want you to be genuinely authentic. I know, genuinely authentic, but I want you to be your real self. Don't do things because you think that's what others want you to do. Do it because that's what you truly want to do. So, if you will feel like you would love to give me a 5-star on iTunes, please do. And if you do, since you're already on iTunes, why don't you just write a review? But if you don't want to, maybe iTunes is not your thing, go on Google Play, go on TuneIn, go on Stitcher, go on Spreaker, go on Spotify, and leave me reviews. If you don't want to do any of that, send me a DM on Instagram. It's at Mr _Ganda. That's at MR_GANDA. Jump on my website, mrganda.com. That's MRGANDA.com. You can find me on Twitter at MR__GANDA. You can also find me on Facebook. I'm actually trying to get out of Facebook because I haven't really been active on Facebook lately. And I don't think I need to have a profile on every social media platform. If you think I can utilize Facebook better, please reach out to me. Let's collabo, okay? I want to thank you guys today for listening to me preach. I'm very passionate about this book, The Alchemist. If you've read it, you probably know why. If you've not, you probably should read it to find out why. And if you like, I can share it with you on Audible. And if you've never had Audible, that will work because the first book you get will be free. And I can share the book with you. So let me know. Send me an email at info@mrganda.com. And I'll send you a link so you can download the book and listen to it on Audible while you drive. Thank you, people. Well, that's all for today, folks. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Apparent Little Mr. Ganda. It's always a pleasure having you. Please don't forget to review us on iTunes and share with your friends on all your social media platforms. If you have any topics you would like to discuss, please send me an email at info@mrganda.com or DM me on Instagram. If you have any guests that you would like to hear, please let me know. I'll try to reach out to them. Remember, my show is not perfect. I'm not perfect. Life is not perfect. If you accept this, thank you. If you don't, goodbye.